Rams Stadium from above on a beautiful Southern California afternoon. The Los Angeles Rams are at home to entertain the San Francisco 49ers. Many say the 49ers the best team in professional football. Their record is matched with that of Dallas, the best in 1992. Hi, I'm Pat Summerall. When we first broadcast these two teams up at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the Rams were on a down streak at the time. However, that day they began to turn things around. They played extremely well against San Francisco. The 49ers won, but they were lucky. With me is John Madden. Since that day, the Rams have turned things around. John, Jim Everett has become one of the hottest quarterbacks in pro football. On the other side of the coin, Steve Young of San Francisco is the top rated in the NFL. My question to you, how do they approach this game?
Well, you know, I think you were right. That day in Candlestick Park, Jim Everett got a lot of confidence he hadn't had for a couple of years, and he started off with 12 straight completions, and he's been the hottest quarterback in the NFL since that date. And I think that the 49ers learned that day that the thing you have to do to Jim Everett, you have to rush him, you have to knock him down, you have to have a guy in his face all day, and if you don't, he'll kill you. Now, of course, the Ram defense, they have another set of problems with this guy, Steve Young. Steve Young, you want to contain him, you don't want to let him run, because if he can break containment, once he gets out of the pocket, either running the ball or running and throwing the ball, he can be the most dangerous man in the NFL.
There's George Seifert, who's done such an outstanding job. It's tough in any position, in any city, no matter what the franchise might be.
I don't know
to replace a guy who's become a legend, and in Bill Walsh's case, so respected throughout pro football. But George Seifert has certainly filled the shoes.
Look, he looked awfully cool there, Pat. If you come out in the field and you're playing the Rams, and the biggest worry you have is getting your glasses cleaned up and your shirt tail tucked in.
Well, or your pants kept up. And Chuck Knox, of course, has done a remarkable job wherever he's been. His second tenure with the Rams. The 49ers will kick off, and here's a story in itself. Look at the kicker. Putting the ball on the tee becomes an effort when you have a bad shoulder, as he does.
Yeah, and he had surgery on his shoulder this week. That was amazing. He had surgery on Tuesday, and he was back at practice on Wednesday, a day later.
Don't expect him to make any tackles after he kicks.
I would think he'll just kick the ball and run right off the field.
Vernon Turner and David Lang back deep for the Rams. Short kick by Kofer, fielded by Lang at the 8. To the 25. 18-yard return. Jim Everett, the quarterback for the Rams, playing as he did a couple of years ago. Up front of him, a good offensive line. Perry, Newberry, Brostick, Milenicek, Slater, and Pat Carter at tight end. Cleveland Gary having an outstanding year with David Lang in the backfield. The wide receivers, Willie Anderson and Henry Eller. And that's the way they open. That was what Everett did at Candlestick earlier. Back to throw it on first down. And going deep on first down. And a flag on the play. Intended for Willie Anderson. Covered by Davis.
One of the things the Rams said they wanted to do yesterday is take a shot at some big ones. They want to go an out and up, which is a double move with a pump fake.
Illegal contact. Correction. Illegal contact. Number 25. 5 yards. First down.
Jerry Austin, the referee.
You're going to see it right down here. And again, it's going to be a double move and out and up. And you get the bump right around the 40. You see him coming here. Now he goes the out. He played the out. That was a double move. He got the pump and the out, and then the up. I knew they were going to do that. They said that they wanted to do that somewhere in the game. I don't know that we expected it the first play.
1st and 10 at the 30. Automatic first down. Cleveland Gary to the left. Out of bounds at the 33. On defense for San Francisco. The three-man front has Fagan Washington in the middle and Pierce Hope having a great year. The line linebackers, Romanowski, Walter, Darren Jordan, and Tim Harris. No DeLong. Don Griffin and Eric Davis, the cornerbacks. Dana Hall and David Whitmore, the safety men. 2nd and about 7. Jeff Chadwick becomes the 3rd Ram wide receiver. But Gary carries the ball left side, no gain. Maybe a yard.
Yeah, you look at Cleveland Gary and you see on his left ankle, he has a big pad down there. You see he injured his left ankle last week in the game. Didn't practice all week. And then he's going today. And those first couple runs, it looked like that ankle's a little tender. I was watching him in the pregame warm-up, and he didn't look like he was running normally.
He was, as we watched him in practice yesterday, he didn't make any severe cuts.
No, and he hadn't, you know, all week he hadn't done anything other than stand around and watch. And we talk about Jim Everett making a comeback this year, and maybe as big a comeback or maybe even a bigger comeback was that of Cleveland Gary.
Well, they expected great things from him when they drafted him, and great things had never happened. But now they are. 3rd and about 6.5. A motion penalty against the Rams was declined. That's Jim Price who motioned Everett out of the shotgun. Threw early while Henry Ellard was still running his pattern.
And I think the key thing is what you just saw there. 3rd down, you see Jim Everett get knocked down. When they played in Candlestick, they didn't get to Everett. They didn't knock him down. Now, you're not going to sack him, but you have to, at the end of the play, you have to put him on the ground the way they did on that play.
Don Bracken back to punt for the Rams. Alan Grant is number 24 for the 49ers. Bracken in pregame warm-ups was rocketing everything. This is a good game. To the 24. Carried by number 24. Out to about the 35, where the 49ers will take over. 1st and 10. No score as yet. The 49ers' first possession coming up. Nothing. First quarter at Anaheim Stadium. Steve Young, the quarterback, having a spectacular year for the 49ers. In front of him, a very, very good offensive line of Wallace, McIntyre, Sapolo, Foster, and Harris Barton. Brent Jones, the tight end. Ricky Waters and Tom Rathman, the 2 runners. Rice and Taylor, the wide receivers. Gets it out to Waters. On defense for the Rams, a fast developing defense. Peel, Gilbert, Boutte, and Robinson. 3 linebackers are Pfeiffer, Kelm, and Kevin Green, who becomes a down defensive end in nickel situation. Light and Henley, the cornerbacks. Pat Terrell and Anthony Newman, the safety. That pass ruled out of bounds and incomplete. That's Waters, who came out of the backfield in motion. That's Waters who catches this one inbound. About a yard or 2 short of a first. Roman, Pfeiffer, and Darrell Henley. Good protection.
No, you just have to like this Ricky Waters, because he's not only added so much to the 49ers running, and you see here receptions, but he's added some life to him. I mean, some guys just kind of go around and they play a nice game, and it's kind of a business and so on. But Ricky Waters brings some life, and he puts some life in the game, and fun and funny and stuff like that. And I think he's a big, big plus for these 49ers.
That's Waters, and that's a fine run. Helm made sure he finally went down, but he got 6.
But you see, like that, I mean, not only does he talk and he have all these things, but he makes the football plays first. I mean, it's third down. He takes the ball in. He bounces out. He breaks a tackle. He runs through a tackle. He breaks another tackle. He spins. He does all that and gets you a first down.
Even when you just talk to him, you got the feeling, or we did, that he was going to jump up at any minute, try to touch the ceiling, do something.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, start doing like some burpees or something, some 10-count burpees, 8-count, some side straddle hops.
A lot of burpees. This is Waters again. And he might have gotten a couple of yards before he was herded out of bounds by Robinson and Green.
Yeah, last week the 49ers were playing against New Orleans Saints, and they had an 80-yard drive, and they didn't throw a pass. It was all running. It was Ricky Waters, and it was also Steve Young. But, you talk to the 49ers, to George Seifert and the coaches and the players, and they kind of didn't like that drive. They come off the field, their head was down, and Jerry Rice was saying, this isn't the 49ers. This is boring.
Well, you read about it. It almost looks like a misprint. An 80-yard drive and no passes by the 49ers. Young behind Rice, the pass.
Yeah, that's the thing that Young and Rice have never gotten this time down. Montana and Rice over the years were so perfect. Right now, it's just that slant right there, and you have to hit him right now. You see, now it's too late. He had to wait for the ball, and it's thrown behind him. In fact, Steve Young was kind of joking about it. He said, the only guy that I can really hit in stride is Jamie Williams because he's so slow. But that guy there is a guy that could hit Jerry Rice right in stride every time.
That guy, of course, Joe Montana. Sherrard. In the game, the 49ers left it on the ground, but they picked it up. Roman Pfeiffer. They didn't pick it up. Let's watch. Player changes would indicate that the Rams got it.
Well, I think what it is, it was third down, so he didn't make the first down.
Right.
See, Steve Young picks it up, and he just doesn't get the first down, so they have to punt.
I thought maybe he lost it again, but he didn't. They did punt. Turner. Nothing score.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, celebrating its 10th anniversary of automobile production in the United States. Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Castrol Syntec, the new synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't.
Ram 1st and 10 at their own 17. No score at Anaheim Stadium. Everett to Gary. A little room this time. Gary got 5. Kevin Fagan and Pierce Holt.
Yeah, I was just watching Jackie Slater there, the Ram offensive tackle. He's an amazing guy that, been playing in this league as an offensive lineman for 17 years. And I've seen him have some of the best games of an offensive tackle that I've ever seen. I'll never forget in a playoff game in Philadelphia against Reggie White.
I remember.
Jackie Slater has every blocking trick in the book.
And makes it look so simple. Those subtle little things that he does. Everett to Ellard. Ram 1st down. 12-yard gain. Eric Davis knocked him out of bounds.
Well, the whole thing starts with pass protection, and watch Jackie Slater here, just his initial shot. Sometimes he'll get back, and then he'll just come up. Sometimes he'll go all the way back. Sometimes he'll get halfway back and stop. But he never keeps his pass protection set the same. He'll take you on the line, he'll set you deep, or he'll fake like that time, like he's going to go deep and then just stop and pop you.
Or he can also cut you like he did to Reggie White that day you were talking about.
He did everything to Reggie that day.
Everett to Gary. Stopped again by Pierce Hope, but a gain of 4.
Yeah, Cleveland Gary says the big thing with him is that he's able to play 10 games. You know, sometimes you get in and you play a game or two and people take your temperature too often. You say, well, he fumbles this, he doesn't catch this, and he just felt that he could play, and he just had to get in and just play every game. And Chuck Knox has kind of given him the belief in him that he's going to do that.
You know, and I'm sure you had when you were coaching people like that. Some people just have to play to get into that kind of feeling, that kind of rhythm. Here's Everett, another guy who likes to get in that kind of rhythm. Eller, incomplete. Eric Davis, right with him.
I think that has to be one of the plans that they have today, is to work on Eric Davis, because this is the second deep pass that they've thrown over to this side on Eric Davis. The first one was a penalty, and of course that one Eric Davis played well and knocked it down. That's good coverage. If the 49ers have a weakness or anything that's going to keep them from being a championship team, it's their pass defense. The 49er pass defense is 28th in the NFL.
They're good against the run, but as you say, last against the pass. Here's Everett, going to test him again. Intended and through the hands of Jim Price. And these fans here haven't forgotten the misfortune that he had up at Candlestick.
And Jim Everett doesn't look like he forgot it, and Price doesn't look like he forgot it. And probably the guy who'll take it the best will be Chuck Knox.
Here's Don Bracken, Alan Grant. Back deep for San Francisco. It's a strange series in recent years. The Rams have always done well at Candlestick, and the 49ers play well here. Grant. By Leon White, and the 49ers take over for the second time. No score in the first quarter. Anaheim Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 8:15 left to play in the first quarter. 0-0 the score. Budweiser blimp down close for a good look. Ricky Waters flanked to the left in the slot. That leaves Rathman behind Young. Rice is open. In the area, but not very close.
Yeah, there's the one you want to get to Jerry Rice. I mean, Jerry Rice is the best receiver in football, and you want to get him in the game early. You see Light plays off him. He just drives him deep and then cuts that thing off, and Steve Young got it out there in perfect timing.
That catch gives him a new 49er record, the 106th consecutive game in which he's caught a pass, moves him in front of Dwight Clark. His own blockers and running for a first down. Stopped by Gilbert.
You know, one thing the 49ers do, if you want your guard here, there's Guy McIntyre, and I think he's one of the best pulling guards in all football. The thing he can do, he gets out there quickly like that, gets around the corner, can run, and then hit it in the open field. Watch, boom, he gets a hit and a knockdown right there. He gets spun, he gets turned around. Watch, he comes up and he'll get another one right there, and then another one right there at the end.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good pull for an old left guard.
Here's Young swinging it out to Rathman. There'll be some collisions when you get the ball to number 44.
Especially when he doesn't have a stinger. It seems like every time you do a 49er game, they always say, oh, Tom Rathman, he's okay. He has a stinger now. Now he doesn't have a stinger, and if he doesn't have a stinger, he makes hits like this. Let's listen to it. That's what you call finishing off a run.
You don't see him running out of bounds. 2nd and 7. Right ahead is Waters. The old sucker play. They pull the guard. and take their chances.
And then they just run Ricky Waters up there. Well, he hit that thing quickly. Watch this. The center blocks back. The left guard pulls. And Ricky Waters just splits that thing. He hit that thing up there so quickly that he ran right by the linebackers and into the secondary before they could hit him.
15-yard gain. 1st and 10, 49ers at the Ram 18. Here's Young to Taylor. Boy, everyone you talk about the running ability of Rice and Taylor and all the 49er receivers after they catch the ball.
Well, and John Taylor was one of the best in football. You know, he's coming back. This is his 2nd game back. He's coming back off of a broken leg this year. And I think when John Taylor is healthy, he's the most underrated player in the National Football League. That this guy can get open, he can run, he can catch, and as you said, after he catches the ball, he could be the most dangerous runner. And he's a great punt returner.
2nd and short, Waters. Across the 10 to about the 9. Piled up first by Kevin Green.
Chuck Knox was talking about Steve Young yesterday and saying that you want to stop Steve Young, but they got so many guys there that you just can't say that that's all you have to do. I mean, you got Rice, you got Taylor, you got Young, you got Brent Jones, and you got Ricky Waters running, and then Rathman. You know, defensively, there's nothing you can really key on and say that is what we have to do.
Steve Wallace got up and got back to the huddle, limping and a little slowly. It's 3rd and 1. Rice in motion. Rathman. 1st down, 49ers. That'll make it 1st and goal.
And it looks like Steve Wallace is okay. He's down there in the action. He's one of those guys like Kurt Loudermilk. You know, he blocks, and then after the play's over, he goes and blocks some more. Watch 74 there. He gets a good drive block. Here comes Woody in here. He goes down. And then old Steve Wallace is still blocking, block. I mean, that's why I've always liked him. He's a very good run blocker, good pass protector, and Steve Wallace has a defensive mentality.
Well, that's exactly what you want. He'll probably be making a trip to the Pro Bowl with all those attributes. Waters down to about the 2, maybe closer than that. Stopped by Terrell.
Can hit you so many ways with so many different guys. I mean, just in the passing game, Steve Young on this drive has 4 completions to 4 different guys. And then he's running Waters. You can see Waters run, and then he runs Rathman. And they really pass it around and mix it up. The only guy they haven't got it yet to is their tight end.
Well, you just think about all those elements you talked about, and you mix in a good offensive line, they're pretty tough.
Offensively, they're the best in football.
Young to Rathman. He's in the end zone, touchdown, but there's a penalty flag.
False start, number 74, 5 yards. It's still 2nd down.
So you praise somebody?
And if there's any problem that he's ever had, it's Steve Wallace right here on the line of scrimmage, right in the end of the line of scrimmage, that they call him. And then he got that little flinch. You see, he moved. He just came up a slight bit, but that's a penalty. And if there's any problem that he's had over the years, it's he has a hearing problem. And I think that he tries to anticipate a little too much, and he has that 5-yard illegal movement.
They go now with 3 wide receivers. Young finds Waters. He is knocked out of bounds by Newman. At about the 3, a gain of 3.
One of the things that the 49ers were talking about yesterday is with Jim Everett, and Jim Everett playing a lot better offensively, and Cleveland Gary, that they think that they have to score a lot of points today, that they have to get into a shootout, not only score a lot of points, but score a lot of points early. Get up on them early. Don't give them any confidence.
Well, they certainly have that ability. touchdown signaled by an official yet. By the 49er players, yes. Let's see what the officials say.
Sure looked like it from up here.
Touchdown. It took a while, but he got it.
It sure looked like it. The only one guy did call it. I think the side judge called it. The guy down here in the bottom called touchdown. No one else did. But you can see Waters in there. And again, the ball broke the plane right there. And the official who was down on the bottom here, I think, was the only one that called it.
Well, the umpire was looking right down at it from behind. He didn't call anything. Anyway, they're kicking the extra point. Hofer makes it 7-0 49ers. That was a very, very fine drive. 7-0. 2:02 left first quarter. 49ers 7, Rams nothing. First quarter, Anaheim Stadium. In the Shark shootout, won by Tom Kite and Davis Love. So they're the champions for 1992. It's quite an event.
How come there's 2 champions?
Well, and they're a good team. Today they played a scramble.
Oh, as a team. So
right.
Tom Kite and Dave. Oh yeah, that's a good team. I'd take that team.
Anywhere you want to go.
Well, no, on a golf course. I mean, I'd take some of these guys here in a football game. Then you take a different guys. You know, if you're playing baseball, you're playing hockey or something like that. But if you're playing golf, I'd take Tom Kite and Davis Love III.
That's very astute.
If I was playing football, I'd take. It's down there right now.
Yeah.
I'd take Pierce Holt. Pierce Holt right now.
I would too. First and 10 Rams. Just inside their own 20. Gary. By Tim Harris. Forced by Whitmore.
Yeah, one thing about Cleveland Gary, he sent out the invitations where, you know, when you send out invitations when you fumble the ball, and he's kind of had a history of that, and every player in the NFL thinks that he still is going to fumble, so every time at the end of every play, they're going to try and knock that ball out from Cleveland Gary. I don't know if he'll ever get rid of that thing.
He's got huge hands, and he's a big guy to go with it. But he does, as you say, have that reputation. Here's Everett. It's caught by Willie Anderson. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York to our studio.
All right, Pat, at Phoenix, Chris Chandler has the Cardinals on the board. 2-yard touchdown pass to Larry Centers, and in the first quarter, same score you have, Pat. 7-0 Phoenix over the Cowboys.
7-0 49ers here with 45 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And the Rams have it first and 10 at their own 33. Anderson split wide left. Ellard wide right. A new running back. David Lang for the Rams. Replaced Gary. Stopped by Whitmore. 8 yards on the carry by Lang. Lester comes out. Jim Price goes in. That is the end of the first quarter with the score. The 49ers 7, the Rams nothing. Anheuser-Busch's aerial ambassador. That's the Bud 1. Piloted today by Maurice Meilmans and Tony Stevenson. Good day to be up there. And maybe it's not such a good day.
I mean, the guy got up this morning and said, yeah, well, what am I think I'll wear that watermelon on my head.
Yeah.
Right? Rams and 49ers and go to the game.
must have either gotten up very early or didn't go to bed.
I mean, how do you decide to do, at some point you have to decide you're going to go with the hair. And then you say, no, I don't think I'll just go with the bear hair. I think I'll put the watermelon on my head and then put a hand pad. Look, he has a hand pad, a wristwatch. What's he going to do?
I used to grow watermelons. I never had a lot of uses for them, but not that one.
Yeah, but the stuff he has on his hands is stuff like nose tackles wear. And I'll guarantee you don't play nose tackle with a watermelon in your hand.
Everett's pass intended for Willie Anderson in between two 49er defenders. Whitmore, one of those two.
They're going to say that there was contact. David Whitmore, number 41, he had Anderson around the neck and or shoulders before the ball got there. Watch him. He grabbed him right around the neck. Davis looked like he's okay. He's in front. But it was 41 Whitmore that Flipper Anderson was doing the argument about. Look at it. He not only grabs him, he spins him around. And no one saw it. They take him over the bench and they talk to him about it. Dodged a bullet there. Whoa.
2nd and 10. Everett outside complete to Willie Anderson. Knocked out of bounds by Davis. A gain of 9.
Eric Davis better watch out about that one. They didn't call Whitmore, but that was awfully close to that right arm went right up to that head on Flipper Anderson. I know the word is with these Ram receivers, Ellard and Anderson, you want to be physical with them. So the 49ers come in and they want to be physical, but you got to watch out when you start punching them to the face. I mean, the officials really don't have this thing under control yet because they've missed 2 in a row.
3rd and 1. A short one. This is. That was Cleveland Gary. He didn't get the first down. Stopped by Dana Hall, their #1 draft choice of last year.
I'll tell you, watch Kevin Fagan. Fagan is going to come flying in here. Gary is lucky that he missed him to even get that thing. Watch Fagan. He comes flying and watch him miss him right there. Gary put a heck of a move on Fagan to get about another yard, although they're not going to do anything with it. The fans want him to go for it on 4th down. And I think when you're playing the 49ers, I think you better put them down. I think you better punt here. You don't want to give them a short field.
Somebody forgot to block Fagan.
Yeah, and he flew and got in that backfield, and Gary had to make that great move.
High kick. Into the end zone. They'll bring it back, and the 49ers will start at their own 20. 12:35 left to play in the 2nd quarter. 7-0.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Waters of San Francisco has 57 total yards and scored the only touchdown of the contest. In 1992, the Rams have been outscored 75-14 in the first quarter. Steve Young is 5 out of 7. So the 49ers have had pretty good control of things so far. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 20.
And the other thing is the 49ers haven't let Jim Everett get into a rhythm yet. I think he's had a couple of bad calls. I think they've, the 49er defense has gotten away with a few things.
1st and 10, and Young to throw it. Out of the pocket he comes, chased by Green. And complete. Jerry Rice was the intended receiver. Young was running for his life.
And he says what he wants to do now is, he said those hits are starting to add up on him. He said he's finally learning the lesson not to run with the ball. He said better things happen when the ball leaves his hands. That's a good fake. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Now what he wants to do is get out here, gather again. Instead of running, gather and throw that ball. Of course, that wasn't a very good throw. He did have a chance. There was no one open, but he said he doesn't want to run with the ball.
Well, he's such an added element. I'm not sure that I agree with that philosophy. He's averaging over 8 yards per carry. This is Waters. Kevin Green made the stop.
Yeah, and there's Joe Montana. He really looked good. He's throwing the ball now, and I was out here yesterday when he was working out and watching him. And the thing is, you know, I'd been reading in the paper, he's throwing, but I went out there and stood, and I just wanted to check to see if he has velocity.
What's he laughing at?
Well, he's probably laughing because he only had one receiver, and his receiver was getting tired, so he needed another receiver.
That was you.
Yeah, but anyway, Montana's arm is okay, and he has no pain in there, and he was throwing the ball fine.
Brent Jones makes the reception.
Now, if you say what he was laughing at, this is what he was laughing at. I'm not sure who this guy was, but I want you to know that this is for a teaching video, and this is super slow motion, but it's kind of to show receivers moves to make around, before, and in the end zone.
I was about to ask when you were going to turn it on, but then I saw. But there was a weak spike.
No, it was a weak. Well, it was super slow motion.
Oh.
You know, that was in full speed, and then they wanted to break down everything for teaching elements. But he throws a nice soft one.
I learned a lot. This is Waters breaking into the Rams secondary.
But I think the 49ers do have a heck of a decision now with Joe Montana, because I think he's ready to come back. We see Ricky Waters here again. Guy McIntyre pulling one of the best pulling and trapping and leading guards in football. And when you run your guard, McIntyre does it real well. But I think Joe Montana's ready to come back now. And I think that, you know, he's ready to get back active. He's not going to be the starter. He'll be a backup, but until he gets off IR, he can't practice with the team.
Young intended for Jamie Williams, and he overthrew him. He said that was the only guy he could hit in stride, like you said.
Yeah, because all these other 49ers, like, you know, you got Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Mike Sherrard, Odessa Turner, Brent Jones, they can all run. Ricky Waters, and when you talk about Jamie Williams, he's more of a blocker, you know, so he's not a real runner. So any quarterback should always be able to hit your blocker in stride. Now, Jamie Williams won't be happy to hear that. I mean, Jamie Williams, I think he thinks he's a sprinter.
Second down and 10. Young back to throw it again. To Rice, flag on the play. And Jerry Rice scoots for what appears to be a 49er first down, depending upon what the penalty is.
And Steve Wallace is back there in the 40-yard line in his haunches, and I would say it's against him.
Number 74, false start, 5 yards. It is still second down.
He's still back there. Now Steve Wallace knows, because he has a lot of pride and he's a great player. He's already had the move where they called a touchdown back. Now they get another play to Jerry Rice, and that's called back. And I know Steve Wallace, and he's such a competitor, he just wants to go out and hit someone. He wants to do something physical about it, and you can't.
Second and 15 as a result of that. 7-0 49ers. Waters in motion, so there are no backs behind Young. He threw it behind Waters. One of the scores we just gave you a minute ago was incorrect. This is the correction. The Eagles beat the Giants at Giants Stadium on a rainy day, 47-34. The Giants at one time led that game 17-0.
You know, and you always think of the NFC East, and you think of those two teams as defensive teams, and who would have thought you would have a score like that when those two guys met?
The Eagle defense scored 2 touchdowns in that game. 3rd and 15. 49ers are 4 out of 5. Third down situations like this. Young's back to throw. Kevin Green got a hand on him. Roman Pfeiffer got a hand on the ball, but it is incomplete.
Again, it all started with that Steve Wallace penalty after the Jerry Rice completion, so that put him in a long yardage. And then you see Kevin Green come from that outside. You just want to get anything, just to throw a guy's timing off. Kevin Green didn't get a big hit, but he did get that left hand just on Steve Young enough to throw him off.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer back to punt. And a good kick to Vernon Turner. Fielded it at the 4 to his own man. He had some room to go. Flag on the play.
I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of intensity in this game, and there's a lot of hitting. I mean, these guys this is good hitting weather, and these guys are going after the hitting thing. Neither team is really in rhythm yet, but the intensity level is very high.
One back, illegal contact from behind, number 25. Half a distance to the goal, first down. Timeout.
Penalty against Chris Crooms of the Rams.
Yeah, you see this happen so much. It's right there about the 20-yard line. You're going to see the block right there.
7-0. 49ers over the Rams. 9:27 left before the half. Anaheim Stadium. San Francisco 7, Los Angeles Rams nothing. At Summerall with John Madden. 1st and 10 Rams at their own 7. Cleveland gain of 5, stopped by Pierce Hope.
Yeah, they say that of the 49er defensive guys that Pierce Holt is really playing the best football. In fact, after last week's game against the New Orleans Saints, they gave the game ball to number 78, Pierce Holt. You know, he does so many things for him. He plays an end in their base defense and is tough against the run. Then as you see here, he moves into tackle on their nickel package and rushes over the guard.
Everett's pass is incomplete, almost picked off by Dana Hall, intended for Willie Anderson.
You know, and what Pierce Holt did on that play was just enough. If you watch him, number 78 there, they always talk about you have to not let Jim Everett get into rhythm. And the way you can knock him out of rhythm is just push the guy right back in his face. Have hands up, do those kinds of things that Holt did there. You know, make him throw around you. You know, make him do that. Make him, you'll get knocked down after he throws. Do those things, but always be nipping at him when he throws the football.
One thing about Pierce Holt, he's going hard right now. He'll still be going hard when the game finishes. This is Price. And a first down Rams, a gain of 14. Dana Hall on the stop.
Yeah, and again, you see the same thing. They want to get the push on Everett again. Pierce Holt is, like you say, Pat, I mean, he's just one of those guys that has a motor that goes all the time. And every guy that plays against him says when you play against Pierce Holt that it's going to be an all-day job. But you see what it did to Everett's footwork? Although he completed a pass, he couldn't step with his left foot. He had to step sideways because Holt was right there where he would step up into.
Lang and Lester. This is Lang, the running back for the Rams. For a first down, Los Angeles to about the 40 before he's knocked out of bounds by Dana Hall.
Good blocking out here in the left side. See, Gerald Perry's the left tackle. Newberry gets a block there. He gets a good lead by Tim Lester, and then that gives him the corner.
Pat Carter got a great block, the tight end. He just took Romanowski to the ground.
Yeah, when you get a Gerald Perry over there, the left tackle is a good run blocker too, and then you put the tight end Pat Carter, who's also a good run. You put them together, you can get a corner once in a while.
Everett with a little time gets it to Everett. In 49er territory at their 45. Again, Dana Hall laid the stop, but after a gain of 16.
See, that's the thing that the running game helps you. You get a couple of runs going, and then you go play pass, and you fake the run. Then that really holds the rush, holds the linebackers, and gives you lanes to throw in. Everett was having trouble getting passing lanes. So he went to a couple of runs, then he went to a play pass, and he got his passing lanes back.
1st and 10. Cleveland Gary is back behind Everett now. Quickly in the direction of Carter. He saw the blitz coming, but a wrong read on the route.
And Jim Everett's running over to his quarterback coach, Ted Tollner, and talking to him about this one, but it's going to be a slant to his tight end. Now he wants to get 1, 2, 3 and get rid of that ball. The only thing is 1, 2, 3, get rid of the ball is okay if the guy's open. But when he's not open, then you have to throw an incomplete pass. Yeah, you talk, that guy right there with the glasses that's talking on the headset, that's Ted Tollner, who everyone gives a lot of credit for Jim Everett's comeback this year.
2nd and 10. Here comes the 49er blitz again. Everett read it correctly this time to Price. And a gain of 7, stopped by Whitmore.
And they're doing a good job of picking up those blitzes inside. Vern Brostek, the center. Watch the center and the 2 guards inside, right in the middle. You see, they're trying to pick up they're trying to come into blitz. They do a good job of picking up that middle. See, they give them a solid middle, the blitz. Then you're going to get one-on-one pass coverage, and you can hit those slants.
Good block by Gary when he was helping out Brostek.
I tell you, and Jackie Slater, usually you zone those stunts. That time they man-to-man, and Jackie Slater came in a man to make a block.
Here's Everett. Flag on the play. Pass incomplete. Somebody jumped. Intended for Chadwick.
And I think it was the 49ers. I think it was one of those deals where it was a free play. Plus, Jim Everett had good pass protection on this left side, so he kind of moved out to his left. I think it was against Tim Harris. He's arguing. And Tim Harris is right here. They're going to say it's against the Rams.
Illegal motion on the offense. The penalty is declined.
So Tim Harris was right. You see, he was arguing. I don't know what he saw. You see, I think he moved, but he didn't go into the neutral zone.
He saw Chadwick move all the way on the other side of the offensive line.
Yeah, and then it looked like it was going to go against the 49ers, but Tim Harris was sure that he saw something move, and he argued that and knocked him out of it.
He won. Bracken back to punt. And the ball goes, let's see, into the end zone. Into the end zone. To the 20. They celebrated a little early. Sammy Lilly, the head cheerleader, but it didn't work. You saw the ball hit the goal line before he ever hit it. .28 left to play in the first half at Anaheim Stadium. The 49ers 7, the Rams nothing. 49er ball at their own 20. Their average starting field position has been their own 30. The Rams their own 17. So both teams, in order to get on the scoreboard, have had a long way to go.
There we see number 52, Larry Kelm there. He's kind of the quarterback of the defense. He calls the defenses. He has a wristband, and all the defenses are on that wristband. And George Dyer, the defensive coordinator, sends in the corresponding number, and that's how he calls defense.
That's Waters. And again, after 13 yards by Waters, a good block by McIntyre.
That airplane looked like Waters the way he was running. You see him? He looks like a whirling dervish. I don't know what a whirling dervish is, but I heard that once. Watch him. I mean, he come in here, and now he starts to be a whirling dervish. You see, he runs, and then he starts to whirl. And this guy has moves that you hadn't seen before. You don't need those moves. I mean, he's moved before he ever gets to the line of scrimmage.
Said he forgot that spin move, but his father reminded of it. That's Waters again. Flag on the play. He's knocked out of bounds by Pat Terrell.
You're right. He said that he was running, and his dad brought up. He said, "Hey, remember that spin move you used to have in high school?"
Number 67, 10 yards. Is still first down.
Still first down. Penalty against Roy Foster.
And Waters said he remembered that spin move, and he brought it and put it back in his arsenal. But again, that has to be instinctive, and it has to be very natural. And I've always found that fathers will watch a son for their techniques. Mothers watch their son for injuries.
For safety.
Yeah. There's too many questions there. I mean, will you marry me, and will you go to San Francisco? I mean, you may say, yeah, I'll go to San Francisco, but I'm not going to marry you.
You only get one question per banner.
Yeah, I mean, you can go, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. Pick the one you want.
Young to throw. Waters, a quick spin. Kevin Green was there waiting for the whirl, along with Anthony Newman.
Again, but Waters is just one of those guys that is full of energy, and he gives you the energy all the time. And that's a tough thing for Kelm. Now, he gets the plays from George Dyer. Now, George Dyer, he has a wristband on his left wrist. So he looks at the band in his left wrist, and then he calls the number. And it can either be a number with, his fingers call a number, or it can be a body clock number into Kelm.
Second down, 17. Rathman. A couple. Stopped by Larry Kelm. The nickel package comes in.
See, now you see George Dyer there. He also has the wristband, and then he's given the signal. You see, that's a body clock signal. So then you got the coverage. Now, when Kelm comes out, you say, who gets the signals now? Well, Anthony Newman does. He's number 26. He has a wristband. So Kelm calls the normal defenses off the wristband, and then Anthony Newman calls the nickel package off the wristband.
Which they change after every quarter. Third down, 16. Here's Young chased. Out of bounds. Sean Gilbert and Gerald Robinson in pursuit.
Hey, that was the thing that Chuck Knox was worried about. He said, one thing, you have to contain him, and when he breaks, you have to be able to go get him. And he said, the question that I have, or the thing I worry about, is do we have enough speed to catch him? And here you can see right then, he had two big old defensive linemen that looked like they had pretty good speed.
Wilms-Myers' punt is a short one. Bounces in front and away from Vernon Turner, who finally gets a bounce. Hit by the 49ers and down at his own 16. Martin Harrison made sure he stayed down, a 52-yard punt. Coming up Thursday, celebrate Thanksgiving with us as the Cowboys play host to the Giants in a big NFC East rematch. Back in week 2, Troy Aikman and the Cowboys jumped out to a seemingly insurmountable 34-0 third quarter lead. And then the Giants came alive, scoring 4 unanswered touchdowns and coming within a whisker of the all-time greatest comeback in NFL history. Thursday, they meet again. Today, the 49ers and the Rams meet again. Cleveland Gary, the ball carrier, a gain of 3. Stopped by Mike Walter. 2-minute warning. The 49ers lead it 7-0 over the Rams. Stadium. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think I'll wear my red shirt like a cape and paint my face and put my hat on backward, and I'll look cute. I'll just go to the game just like that. And
I guarantee you that took more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, try and talk to everyone around me, and they'll all like me because I'm cute. How do you do that? I mean, you know, at some point you have to say, okay, I'm going to paint my face and wear this. And
I don't know.
Everything here, guys painting their face, asking to marry him.
That's Cleveland Gary over the right side. Penalty flag comes flying in. 6 yards for Gary. But a holding penalty is going to be called against the Rams. You saw Phoenix beating Dallas.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk to the Rams and the 49ers.
Holding, number 88, 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
88's Pat Carter.
Right.
And talking to both of those teams, the game that they always say was a tough game on was the Cardinals. They both lost to the Phoenix Cardinals. And then we look now, those Cardinals are beating the Dallas Cowboys. So Cardinals aren't one of the better teams in the league, but they sure as heck can bother some of the better teams in the league.
Bothered the Redskins, too.
Yeah, they'd like to be in that NFC East.
Everett across to Chadwick. Jeff Chadwick at the 20. He got 10 yards. They're still shy of the first.
You know, one thing, we look at all these linemen, and you see how they wear their jerseys now. Look at all those Ram offensive linemen and how tight they are. This is what they do in the morning. They all get there together and they tape their shoulder pads.
That starts about 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. for a 1 o'clock game.
Oh, shame. They then talked about Jeff, how Jeff was, you know, picked by the Rams and whatnot, and he plays and stuff like that. And then the announcer, they flashed to the stands and they had a guy.
And they really take this stuff seriously, too. They have different ways of doing it. And that's Tom Newberry, the guard. They got to cut stuff. I remember an offensive lineman, you just put your pads on in a jersey. Look at the stuff they go through.
The reason, of course, is to keep them from grabbing you, the defenders from getting a handhold.
Yeah, right. And then they make those jerseys real tight. They're all custom made, tight to the body, and then the pads are taped. The jerseys taped to the pads, so there's nothing to pull or jerk on.
Here's Everett in the pocket and high in the direction of Chadwick. Todd Hewitt, who finishes this procedure after the pads are taped. That's the assistant Ram trainer, an equipment man.
Yes. Yeah, remember the old days? You just put on your pads, pull the jersey over, and go out and start playing. Now that whole procedure that we just showed you there, that's like a 2 or 3 hour procedure before a game.
You have to prove yourself before they even gave you pads.
You can work up a heck of a sweat, though, in the pregame, just taping your pads.
Grant got around the corner. And out of bounds at about the Ram 45 by Fred Strickland.
You see Grant make that spin move there? We're talking about a whirling dervish. It happened again. Usually a spin move doesn't work, but he's going to start out here. There's Kevin Green. He gets blocked there. But watch right there, the spin move. He just does a spin move and changes direction and changes speed, and he comes out the other end about 2 seconds faster than he went in the other end.
That's when it's effective. When you come out of it faster than you went into it.
That's what they call the old spinner change of pace.
Spinner accelerator. First down 49ers at the Ram 44. Rathman, the lone setback, stays in the block. Young throws incomplete. Intended for Brent Jones.
Brent Jones was his receiver last week, of course, against the Saints. With 46 seconds, he hit Brent Jones in the end zone to win that game. Brent Jones is playing with bad ribs. In fact, he has a rib pad on. He didn't want to wear the rib pads because it affects his catching, but he found a pair that John Taylor had. And John Taylor said that these are the best he's ever had. He's had a lot of broken ribs, so Brent Jones is wearing those today.
Here's Young back to throw. Pass is complete to Brent Jones. How many times has that combination worked to set up field goals and win football games? 20-yard gain, clock running, and just over a minute left in the first half. Young to throw it. Jones, the intended target again. If he didn't have a problem with his ribs, that might have been a reception.
Well, he said after the game he knew he was going to play against the Rams this week, so he didn't even want to have him x-rayed. He said it doesn't make any difference. If they're broken, I'm going to play. If they're not broken, I'm going to play. He said if I need protection, I'm going to put it on anyway, so why x-ray him? And he's on the road. He's Steve Young's roommate. And so he gets to talk to him all the time about throw to me, throw to me. And anytime they give him a too deep zone and give him a free middle, Brent Jones wants that post up in there.
Young to Waters. Waters still on his feet. Trying to struggle out of bounds. Couldn't accomplish that, but did get a first down after a 15-yard pickup.
Here's a guy who is fun to watch and who has fun playing the game. We talk about the moves he had. He had the moves on that run, plus the straight arm.
San Francisco timeout. 47 seconds left first half.
Here's Waters here, but watch the block Tom Rathman gets. He comes through, boom, right here. He blocks Kevin Green. That's the block that really springs him. Watch him, he's going to come through. He turns to the right. There, he picks off Green, and that's the play that let Waters break free.
Makes it first and goal from the 9. Young back to throw it. John Taylor. He looked as if he thought about lateraling that ball outside to Waters.
I know it, and he could have, but Waters was in front of him.
That's
Had
right.
Waters known about it, that could have been a touchdown. I think that's what Taylor was telling him. That's the old hook and ladder play.
That takes you back to high school. Ram timeout. 25 seconds left first half.
Yeah, because John Taylor knew that he was going to get tackled, and he wanted to throw it out there to Ricky Waters. They're coming off this surgery. I mean, that's something now with those scopes, how a guy can have an injury on Sunday, can have surgery during the week, and play the next Sunday. Of course, we're talking about a kicker, but that's still amazing how he can have surgery one day and be out the next day kicking. See, he can't use both his arms, but I guess a kicker, you just kind of need him for balance.
Yep.
There's George Seifert. You see, he doesn't wear a headset anymore. I think he kind of felt that he was kind of getting in other people's way and maybe a little too involved, so he backed off a little. And he let his defensive people do the defensive calling and Mike Shanahan do the offensive calling, and he took the headset off.
And his hair, as a result, gets messed up a little bit more.
Yeah, but he got that rope
around his neck. Young for Waters. 22 seconds left now.
I think this is one that he knows he has to throw in the end zone, and this is probably where he starts looking for his tight end again. Threw that one out there to Waters, and you would think that he would either run it and have some kind of option type of run or throw to this guy, Brent Jones here.
We're talking about hair just a second ago. Steve Young told us something remarkable yesterday. You asked him how often he combed his hair, and he said never.
No, he never combs his hair. Doesn't even have a comb, never has had a comb.
Amazing. Pointing, gesturing, getting away once. Taken down by the second. And that's Sean Gilbert. 12 seconds left, a loss of 11.
They contained him. They knew they had to contain Steve Young. He was trying to get the ball to Brent Jones earlier. He couldn't get it to him, and that was good coverage in the end zone. See it down here? They have Jones double coverage. See him? He started trying to throw it to him right in the middle. Then he comes back, and he's looking to the outside. He had nothing back here in the left corner, and then Sean Gilbert got the sack. But that's a coverage sack.
So Kofor will try the field goal. He's 11 out of 17. When time is back in. In past years and past games, I think in a situation like we just saw, that's when Steve Young would have run with the football instead of looking for the secondary receiver.
See, and there's Brent Jones talking about the coverage. Larry Kelm, the middle linebacker, went right back there and took away Brent Jones. He took away that middle. In fact, Kelm was saying yesterday he thinks that's the biggest part of what they have to stop with the 49ers, that short underneath passing.
34 yards out. And Kofor is good. So 10-0 with 7 seconds left to play in the first half. 49ers lead.
See, here's Brent Jones. He was trying to hit him on a slant. Larry Kelm is right here. He just takes away that lane, and when he can't throw it to Jones, then he tries to go outside. But see, Kelm, just by being right there, he couldn't throw it now. See, this is what he's looking at. This is what he sees. So he can't throw there. So now he has to buy some more time. So he starts to scramble, and if you just look in the end zone, the 49ers are going back and forth, but there's excellent Ram coverage.
Kicks off. Turner and Lang back deep. Vernon Turner at the 5. Out and stopped at the 23 after a gain of return of 18 yards. 1 second. The time left in the first half. 49ers 10, Rams nothing.
This first half, this 49er defense has played well because their goal was to come in and not let Jim Everett get in a rhythm, not let Cleveland Gary, have a big running day. And so far in the first half, they've accomplished both of those goals.
Last play of the first half as Jim Everett just kneels to run it out. So that is the end of the first half with the score, San Francisco 10. The Los Angeles Rams nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart. And by the Travelers, you're better off under the umbrella. The NFL Today Dockers Halftime Report is sponsored by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers.
And those of you who've been watching the 49ers and the Rams, welcome back to our studios here in New York, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. Halftime in Anaheim, the 49ers are leading L.A. by a score of 10-0. Ricky Watters, 92 yards rushing. Steve Young, 9 of 18, throwing for 70 yards. In Phoenix, the Cardinals trail the Dallas Cowboys 10-7 at halftime. Cardinals got on the board first in this game. Chris Chandler to Larry Centers.
Oh, you see this all the time. Nice play action, a little goal line blitz, but there it is, touchdown.
And then yet another quarterback out of the game because Chris Chandler, with injured ribs, was taken out of the game. He was hit by both Jim Jeffcoat and Leon Lett, and Tim Rosenbaugh is on quarterbacking the Cardinals. Chandler will not return today. The Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Raiders are at halftime. The Raiders leading at 17-0. Tommy Maddox quarterbacking the Broncos, 4 of 7 for 40 yards with 1 interception in the first half. Halftime at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, the Chargers leading Tampa Bay 22-7. Ronnie Harmon has scored 2 touchdowns in this game, and the New England Patriots at home against the New York Jets, looking for their second win of the season, leading the Jets 24-3. Scott Zolak looking to win his second straight game. He is 6 of 10 for 75 yards throwing in the first half of the game. Now, action earlier today will begin at the Meadowlands. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Giants 47-34, and special teams did a number for the Eagles on the Giants today. Sean Landetta's punt blocked by Ken Rose, picked up and returned for a touchdown by Rose. The Eagles led 34-20. And then once the Giants did get the punt away, look what Vi Sikahema does.
This is an 87-yard punt return, Greg. And once Sean Landetta misses him, well, there it is. You see it. 87 yards, punt return. Sikahema, nice job.
What a number the Eagles did on quarterback Jeff Hostetler, too. Mike Gole coming in, hits him hard, sends him to the hospital with a concussion. Eagles win it 47-34.
Big day for you. You sacked Jeff Hostetler, the team, 5 times, finally knocked him out of the game. What was the plan today?
Well, we just knew we had to get some pressure on him, and we knew he was hurting. And we knew if we can get some hits on him, not only sacks, but hits on him, then, you know, we can frustrate him, and that's what we were able to do today.
What the Buffalo Bills were able to do today against Atlanta was criminal. They were able to run the football. Thurman Thomas, a big first half, including this 44-yarder.
Nice 44-yard gain. Thomas on the day, 13 carries, 103 yards, a couple of touchdowns, Greg. But if you can run the football in cold weather, we know Jim Kelly can throw the football. Now look at Davis. Here's a guy, Plan B acquisition. Look at this, out of TCU. My gosh, he gets 182 yards today on 20 carries and 41-14, a rout by Buffalo.
Buffalo moves to 9-2 on the year. In Miami, Warren Moon watching from the sideline. Cody Carlson, the starting quarterback, finds a wide-open Leonard Harris in the end zone, but
no way, Greg. Good throw, just didn't make the catch. Boy, you hate that.
16-16 tie, under 2 minutes. Al Del Greco of the Oilers misses from 41 yards out, but Pete Stoyanovich makes no such mistake from 52 yards away. Clock winding down to 2 seconds to play. Miami wins it 19-16.
I had one thing in mind, and that was to get us a victory and get out of here. And I had no questions about it. You know, I had the great wind at my back, and I just had to make contact with the ball, and it was going to go.
The Pittsburgh Steelers at home against Indianapolis. Boy, they do one thing and they do it well. They give the ball to Barry Foster.
28 carries, 168 yards, 8 straight game over 100 yards, a Steeler record. Don't forget they got a Hall of Famer there named Franco Harris, so this guy is really coming on strong.
Steelers are 8-3 on the year. At the Metrodome, the Vikings came from behind to beat the Browns. Sean Salisbury, 3-yard TD pass to Joe Johnson to pull them to within 3, and then Todd Philcox makes the mistake.
Out in the flat, Greg, you see a little tip ball. That'll go as an interception. Audrey McMillan picks it up, 25 yards. This is another score by the defense of the Vikings.
Vikings win it 17-13. Soldier Field in Chicago, Mike Ditka hoping to see his Bears turn it around. Wasn't going to happen.
Oh, you love this. Deep play action. When you play action and set up deep, you normally throw deep. There's Sterling Sharp. Beautiful job.
Jim Harbaugh, tough day all the way around for the Bears quarterback. He's picked off here by Chuck Cecil. He didn't finish the game. Peter Tom Willis came on to replace him in the third quarter. Nothing helped the Bears today. They fall to 4-7 on the year. The Packers win it 17-13. And in Cincinnati, the Detroit Lions beat the Bengals 19-13. Wayne Fonts, his favorite site, Barry Sanders running the football.
Yeah, this is what the Lions want to do, Greg. This is 29 carries today for Sanders, 151 yards. And if they can run the football, Eric Kramer back in there, forget last year, those 6 straight games where he led the team to victory, they can throw it.
151 yards and a touchdown for Barry Sanders. They win it by 6. And I want to remind you that coming up on Thanksgiving Day, Terry and I will be here at 3:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today, the holiday edition. And then it'll be the New York Giants paying a visit to the Dallas Cowboys in Irving, Texas. That's coming up Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, here on CBS Sports. One final note in our golf coverage today, the Franklin Funds Shark Shootout. Tom Kite was the winner. Davis Love III was second. And the NFL Today continues here on CBS after this from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, the best hamburgers and a whole lot more. And by DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. DeskJet printers. Make it happen.
Close by the stadium, Disneyland and the Matterhorn. Thanksgiving Day coming up on Thursday, of course. The Giants at Dallas to play the Cowboys. 3:30 the NFL Today here on CBS. We've got the turkey, John. We're set.
Yeah, well, we got to cook the turkey so we can give out the turkey leg, and it's an old family tradition. What we do is we carry our turkey around with us for a week, and what we do is we just bring it, and we air it out. And we let the thing get aired out. We do this, and we spin it around, and it's in the family. We do this, and then we'll start. We won't cook it until Wednesday or Thursday. So then at the end of the game, we'll give them one of these legs here, but we'll cook it before we'll give it to them.
Well, in between time, we're caressing it. We keep it in the refrigerator. So
yeah,
we carry it around, but we keep it cool.
Well, yeah, both. I mean, you carry it around a while, then you put it in the refrigerator, then you just kind of air it out. You got to let it air out for a week. And then after that week, then you cook it, then you eat part of it, you give part of it away.
We'll have to give it away if we let it air out for a week.
Boy, this is a good old bird, though. This is a good bird. 92 is a good year.
Dexter Carter just off the injured list on the kickoff return. Outside the 30 to the 31. Good return by Dexter. Stopped by Fred Strickland. Halftime statistics. 11 first downs, 97 rushing yards for the 49ers. They've been able to run it all year long, and they're still doing it. No turnovers so far. That's the thing that the Rams dreaded, and there have been none.
And I think the 49er defense has done a good job. They probably blitzed a little more than they normally do. They blitzed about 7 times, but they haven't let Jim Everett get into any kind of rhythm or sync.
This is Waters. And he galloped for a first down before he stopped by Larry Kelm. 11. Steve Young's the book on passing by him.
Well, if you look, there was under 10 yards. He threw 11, under 26. So he's only thrown 1 pass over 20 yards. So it's been, again, the running game and then the short passing game, and that's how the 49ers have that 10-0 lead.
And Waters is over 100 yards for the day at 12 carries, 103 yards. And he gets another. The ball's loose. Looks like the Rams might have gotten the first turnover of the day.
I think it was their rookie, Sean Gilbert, number 90. They didn't get him blocked. He got the penetration. He got on the 49er side of the line of scrimmage and knocked that ball out of there.
And Larry Kelm made the recovery. That's the first turnover today.
Well, they're still fighting for it down there, but the Ram offense is out on the field, and it is a Ram ball. Steve Wallace, the 49er left tackle, still trying to go for it, but the fight's over.
Kelm made the recovery.
But you watch number 90 right there. Sean Gilbert came in. He got the penetration. He's the guy that knocked the ball out. Kelm has it, but then at the end, they come in and they try and get it away from him. Look at Wallace. The play's over. The whistle's blown. Old Steve Wallace is still trying to make up for that offside.
That's why it took so long to unstack. It's David Lang. Lang hammers down to about the 49ers 34. A gain of 11. Stopped by Whitmore. A Ram first down.
Now, the Rams in the first half didn't really have good field position. They didn't have a lot going, but they didn't try and force anything. They were patient. And I think maybe that helped them. Now they get the turnover. Now they can go for it.
49ers lead at 10-0. Opening drive for the Rams of the second half. After they recovered the fumble. This is Lang again. Lang picked up a few. 3. Stopped by Walter. Hit hard by Walter.
You know, it's interesting that Cleveland Gary is out of there. Again, he hurt his ankle last week and didn't practice all week, and now we just see him coming in here. But sometimes after a halftime, an injury will stiffen up on you, and it takes a while to get it. He may have had it retaped. He still has that pad there in the left ankle, but it takes you a little longer to get warmed up to get back in the game.
8 carries for 24 yards in the first half. Second and 7. Carries the deep back. Everett for Ellard. Touchdown Rams. No penalties. Rams are on the board. Everett to Ellard from 31 yards away.
I'll tell you, he ran right between the two safeties. That was a heck of a throw by Jim Everett. We're going to see the focus. He's focused. He gives a little pump. He steps up. He finds Everett. Watch David Whitmore's number 41 there. Dana Hall, number 28. Henry Eller just split the both of them and ran right by him.
And Everett waited until he cleared. A good read, as they say. 10-7, the 49er lead is cut to 3. Zendejas to kick off for the Rams. It's 10-7 with 12:44 left in the third quarter. 3 plays, they went 45 yards after the fumble recovery. Turnovers, boy, everywhere you go, they dread them, don't they?
Does one thing, it gives the other team, they didn't have to earn that field position, and they could take advantage of it.
Dexter Carter on the kickoff return to about the 26. Sammy Lilly for the stop.
Here's Henry Ellard here. Here's Dana Hall right here. He's the guy who really gets burned because they should get a bump here, and then Hall has to come over. He takes a bad angle, and Ellard just runs right by him. See, when the corner comes up there, Eric Davis, he should get a bump. He forces him to the inside. Now Dana Hall takes a bite right there. He comes running up. Why, I have no idea. And Henry Ellard just runs right past him. Whitmore gets over there, but that was Dana Hall's all the way.
First and 10, Rathman goes in motion, and Waters behind. Outside the 30, a pickup of 4, stopped by Kevin Green.
And the guy who really made that play or started the play was Sean Gilbert, number 90 for the Rams. He was their number 1 draft choice. In fact, he should have been a senior at Pittsburgh this year. And instead, he was a number 1 draft choice, got a lot of money playing for the Rams. And we saw him early in the season, and now he has really developed.
He's developed physically. If he had waited until after his senior year, there's no telling how big he would have been.
He would have had to bring him out here in a truck.
They list him at 6'4" and 315. I think that's low. 6-yard gain by Waters. Larry Kelm made the stop.
He said when he first started, that everyone used to try and fool him because he's so big and strong and physical that no one would ever get in a physical about him, and they would sucker trap him and do all those things to him. And now he looks a lot more calm, a lot more confident. And again, he was the guy that got penetration that caused the fumble that gave the Rams their first 7 points.
You got Gilbert and Boutte in the middle. 2 guys, both of whom weigh in that 300 neighborhood.
They're both rookies that are going to be in that middle of this Ram defense for a long, long time.
They give to Rathman on 3rd and short, and that's a first down, stopped by Leon White.
Saw Kelm come in there and finish off that tackle, and of course Larry Kelm was a guy who, after Sean Gilbert made the hit, he recovered the fumble. I wonder what would happen if that left wristband ever got knocked off, the one that has all the defenses in it, or ever got any mud on it or anything like that.
He'd just tell him whatever he wanted to tell him.
Or some guy in a street move would get him, like down in a pile, and you just pull it off him. Then you take it back to your huddle.
Young missed the handoff to Waters. Faked the pass and threw it to Taylor. Flag on the play. They had to have somebody downfield.
And I don't know that they may not be calling a penalty on Darrell Henley, the corner, for the way that he hit Steve Young, although I don't know what that would be. Like you say, it took so long.
This flag here is disregarded. There's no foul. The quarterback was a runner.
Yeah, that's right.
We have an ineligible downfield on offense, number 62.
Yeah, that's right. They got it right. I think they were trying to call an unnecessary roughness against Henley, but after he misses a handoff, he really missed it. He put it on his hip. Luckily, it came right off his hip and back into Steve Young's hand. Now he's a runner. Now Henley can hit him. They were going to call that a penalty, but that's just a runner. That's not a quarterback anymore. And then Guy McIntyre, because it took so long, he was downfield. But the 49ers were lucky that they didn't fumble. That was good hands by Steve Young.
Lucky it bounced back to him.
Yeah, if it's going to bounce off your hip, sometimes it can bounce down or the other way, bounce right back into Steve Young's hands.
First and 20 at the 29. In the underwater. Behind Foster. The hole was there, but the Rams filled it. Led by Kelm.
I think the Rams came into this game and they were worried about the 49ers passing game and that short passing game. And I think what that did, it took Kelm and these guys and softened up that middle for the running. I think they probably made an adjustment at halftime and said, let's play a little tougher on that first down run because Waters is gaining 100 yards against us already.
10-7 San Francisco. 9:20 left to play in the third quarter. Young to throw it. Some time, gets the completion to Taylor. Tripped up by Darrell Henley. 12-yard gain.
George Seifert was saying that John Taylor played last week, and he said he really looked rusty. And around Wednesday or Thursday of this week, said he started to look normal again and started to look like the old John Taylor. Maybe that's why George Seifert is smiling. Said that looks like the old John Taylor.
I remember him.
Seifert goes, yeah, it does.
Third down and 5. Young starts Waters in motion, goes back to throw it. Gets it to Brent Jones, can't hang on. Incomplete. Roman Pfeiffer was there with him, number 58.
I'm not making excuses for Brent Jones, but that's probably because of the rib pad. That's the thing that you worry about. You can catch the ball, but when you go to bring it in fact, that ball was out there in the left. He just got one hand out there.
Well, I think you could blame that on the ribs. He just couldn't reach for it.
Yeah, he couldn't get back there, and I think you can blame that on the throw, too, that he was going one way, and the ball wasn't well thrown. It was thrown behind him by Steve Young.
Wilms-Meyer back to kick. Vernon Turner, get away from him. Well, you heard him say get away. So the Rams will take over with 8:23 left in the third quarter. They trail by 3. The blimp Bud 1, the airship, 194 feet long. Its eye in the sky camera bringing you pictures from more than 1,000 feet above the stadium. We're looking up and they're looking down. David Lang is the deep back. Everett fake to him and throws him to Lang, who had it. Trickle away is Pat Carter, beg your pardon, 88 instead of 38.
And the thing is, again, the 49ers knocked Jim Everett down. This is the thing that they're doing today, and they didn't do the last time. If you look in the first half, the Rams didn't score any points. Now, they didn't sack Everett, but they hurried him 8 times. Now, that's big, but bigger than that is they knocked him down 3 times. They didn't have any batted balls or any interceptions or sacks, but they did harass him. And this is what you have to do. You see, now you get him turning, you get him spinning around, you get him bailing out, you get him not following through, all those things that are not rhythm.
Second and 10, Lang. Picked up about 5. Stopped by Romanowski.
Well, you saw Big Bern Brostek there. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to be a center for this team for a heck of a long time. I mean, he really anchors that middle. One of the good players in there. You know, he's 6'3", he's over 300 pounds. He's from Hawaii, and he surfs. And I can't imagine a big old offensive lineman center. But he says he has an 11-foot board.
He didn't say it was 11 feet was wide or long. Here's Everett by Pierce Hope and Tim Harris. Of 9. That's the first time they've gotten him down.
Yeah, and that's what they know that they had to do. And again, Pierce Holt, again working on Malinchak. You see him there. He takes an inside move, knocks him to the outside, and he's the first guy there, right up the middle. And then Harris is coming from the outside. But Pierce Holt, if there's been any one guy who's really been on Everett today, it's been Pierce Holt.
And that's been his story throughout the year. Bracken. The kick takes a real ram roll. And it's dead at the 27. So it's a 54-yard punt, no return by Bracken. There was a penalty on the play, the last play before we went to commercial.
And there's Steve Israel right there, and that's what the penalty is, Pat, is he comes up the field, he gets knocked out of bounds. Now, he can get knocked out of bounds, that's okay. And he can come back in on the field and make a tackle, but he can't be the first guy to touch the ball. So when Steve Israel comes up here, and again, it's a rookie thing, if he was the second guy to touch the ball, it's okay. But you talk about a picky rule, that's a picky rule.
If he didn't touch it at all, it would have still been down there, the 49ers ball. Now they're going to have to re-kick.
Yeah, but that is a tough one. I mean, I don't know about that one, because you don't know when the whistle blew, when the ball is, when the ball stops. Yeah. The official can blow the whistle. Had anyone else touched the ball, it would have been okay, but Israel can't come in and be the first guy to touch it.
And I'm not even sure he touched it. It looked like he just sort of waved at it. I don't know where he thought it was going. In any case, Bracken re-kicks. The better kick, they may not get the same result. Grant. They certainly do not get a better result. Brett Strickland made the stop, but the 49ers take over in Ram territory.
Yeah, so that was about a 40-yard penalty on Israel. And I still don't know, like you said, whether he did touch that or not. Again, they can double team the guy. They can knock him out of bounds. They can't grab him.
Holding on the receiving team. The penalty's offset. Replay, fourth down.
Well, they're going to go back and do it again. Offsetting penalties this time.
This is a tough one. We've had 2 punts and 3 penalties.
Final scores from around the league. Buffalo 41-14 over Atlanta. Miami had a struggle with Houston. Warren Moon didn't play. Minnesota came back to beat Cleveland. The Packers over the Bears, and Detroit by 6 over Cincinnati. Bracken will have to kick again. Pretty soon they won't be special teamers.
They'll be too experienced to be special teamers. They'll be the old veteran players. Although look at number 91, the fullback in there is Kevin Green.
It's his 3rd punt this drive. Bracken's kick is another good one. Grant signals fair catch. Lucky he made the fair catch. He almost misjudged it. Right now, let's send you back to our New York studios for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, at Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix, Troy Aikman of the Cowboys to Alvin Harper. He'll break loose and complete a 38-yard pass play for a touchdown. Cowboys missed the extra point. They lead Phoenix 16-7 in the 3rd. Pat?
Back at Anaheim Stadium, it's 10-7 San Francisco. With help from Todd Light.
You know, when you have speed and you have a big receiver, you can go deep with them up the field, or you can go across the field. Now watch number 80, Jerry Rice. He comes up and then he goes all the way across the field. He gets behind the linebackers and in front of the secondary. I'll tell you, you just have the feeling that if they would keep doing that, that they could hit Jerry Rice all day. Sometimes I think that they get a little too conscious of moving the ball around to different guys, and in the process, they forget Jerry Rice, who's the most dangerous receiver in the game.
This is Rathman. Down to about the 22-yard line. A gain of 6 by the fullback. Todd Light tripped him up. Rice looks as if he's covered, and all of a sudden there's about 5 yards of daylight between him and the defender.
Well, you know, he's big and he's strong and he's fast, and I mean, he just has all those things. He has great hands. If you can get it close to him, he can catch it. He can run after he catches it, and like I say, he's the best there is in the game, and I think you just have to always figure out a way to get the ball to him.
Young to one. Scrimmage led by the Ram defense. The linebackers Kelm and Green.
Yeah, I think the Rams had a meeting at halftime, and one of the things that they decided to do was tighten up on that run, because they were a little loose defensively on the run. They've tightened up in the run. Now I think the 49ers then should go play pass and hit some more of those crosses, or start throwing the ball outside.
3rd down and 4 at the Ram 22. This is a good time for Steve Young to think about taking off. He said he didn't do that much, but let's see. The ball batted in the air. It's incomplete. Jerry Rice, the intended receiver. Young had the ball batted back. He's disgusted with himself.
And he knew it too, because you see there, he has him. He has Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was coming on a cross, but he has to find a passing lane too, and he couldn't get the ball to him.
Big Sean Gilbert got the hand up.
I'll tell you, Gilbert is having a heck of a day. But watch Rice here. He just gets right there behind that umpire, comes under control, gets in front of the linebackers, and again, Sean Gilbert got his hand up and knocked that ball. Didn't knock it down, he knocked it up.
40 yards for Kofor. And he's good from there. And the 49ers increase their lead to 13-7. 4:17 left, 3rd quarter.
Watch Sean Gilbert here. This is a real athletic move. He starts up. He's going to be on this side of the guard. Then he sticks his left hand up and knocks the ball down with his left hand, because he could have hit Rice. See him? He starts on the right side of McIntyre and reaches around him right there with his left hand and knocks the ball.
Kofor kicks it off to Vernon Turner. Turner to the 26. Stopped by Odessa Turner. Here's the kicker, Kofor.
Well, when you have surgery that week and it's on your shoulder and they're running, you sure as heck don't want to make any contact. So I think you just kick and you watch it and you just run off the field. If he were a runner, you would say he's not going north and south, he's an east and western.
That looked like a new dance. 1st and 10.
Like a karaoke.
Straight ahead outside the 30, stopped by Michael Walter, but he got 8 yards. Dallas now ahead of Phoenix 16-7. Raiders 17-0 over Denver, and San Diego starting to come on 22-7 over Tampa Bay. How about New England?
It didn't look like they were going to win a game all year, and now they're on their way to winning 2 in a row.
2nd and 2. No flags. That's Gary. He got across the 35, enough for a 1st down. David Whitmore knocked him down. 1st down Rams.
I don't think Cleveland Gary's well, Pat. I think that ankle is really bothering him, and they're trying not to let the 49ers know that. And you can just see it, though. I mean, he comes in for a play, runs a play or two, then he comes off. David Lang is carrying the ball a lot more, and I think they're trying to get as much out of Cleveland Gary as they can, but he is not going to be productive today.
Here's Everett back to throw it on 1st down. Incomplete. I'm not sure who was the intended receiver.
I don't think there was any intended receiver, unless Jim Everett looks like maybe the intended receiver ran the wrong pattern. is getting on someone there, but he just threw that one away because he knew that he wasn't going to hold it because he was just about ready to get hit.
That'll bring up the second and 10 from their own 36. San Francisco leading 13-7. Is down again. 5 yards for Lang.
Did you see Darren Jordan, the inside linebacker, on that? Watch him. He's gonna come right here on a blitz, and he hits it. He almost gets the ball. He almost gets Everett before he hands it off. Look, he timed that blitz perfectly. He gets there and almost grabs the handoff. Everett did a good job of getting that ball handed off. Watch Darren Jordan, 90, gets a little block there, but in fact, Everett he didn't hand it off. He threw it to him. Yeah. He wasn't going to get caught with it.
3rd and 6. That was Chadwick in motion. Everett has some time this time. Tip in the air and almost caught, but then incomplete. Henry Eller jumped for it, but the Rams will have to punt.
And this is what the 49ers knew that they had to do. They had to put pressure on Jim Everett. You have to make him throw it when he doesn't want to. Although that one there was pretty good protection there.
Bracken back to kick. And Alan Grant back deep for San Francisco. They've been kicking away from him. Or trying to. And it bounces at the 15 and is down there.
Watch this last throw here. It just hits the defensive guy in the head. Watch it right there. Doink. It hit Thane Gash right in the middle of the head.
(13-7) 49ers over the Rams. A hot one. And look who's back.
Hey, that guy's been all over the place.
Yes, he has.
I think that's maybe why the right side is red and the left side is yellow.
1st and 10, 49ers at their own 15. Gives to Waters. Got about 3, stopped by Kevin Green, make it 4.
Yeah, Ricky Waters went to school with Todd Light. Todd Light is the left corner of the Rams. They both went to Notre Dame, and asking Light yesterday if he thought that Waters would be that good when he was at Notre Dame, and he said he knew he would. He said, in fact, had he gone to another school other than Notre Dame that really used a running back, he thought he would have won the Heisman Trophy.
Todd Light wound up being a defensive back because they had so much talent. Reverse to Rice. And he gets a 49er first down, but here comes a flag again.
There's some action down there. That's Jamie Williams in there. He was one of the guys who made a block. Look at John Taylor. You don't see many wide receivers in and fights and breaking up fights. Miss Taylor is one of them.
He's getting Williams out of there.
10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
Against the 49ers.
But there's one guy that can laugh about it. That's Ricky Waters. The game, yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, it is a game, and it should be fun, and he has fun playing with it.
To him, it is a game.
You see the reverse, then you're going to see the guard pull out in front, and then right at the top, there's Jamie Williams, number 81, just ran by him.
They move the ball back as we have a minute left to play in the 3rd quarter, and the 49ers leading by 6. That Ram defense encouraging the crowd sellout crowd, the first sellout since December of last year to get involved, and they have been. 2nd and 15 at the 9. Young back at the goal line to throw it, and throwing deep. And incomplete. Taylor had a hand on it and couldn't hang on. Another marker down on the play. Gilbert put the heat on Young.
The ball could be snapped. The 25-second clock expired. Half the distance to the goal. It's still 2nd down.
Again, this Sean Gilbert is playing a heck of a game today. He was the guy that caused the fumble by the 49ers that got the Rams their 1 touchdown. He was the guy in that big 3rd down play that knocked him down. He's the guy that just put heat there on Steve Young. I'll tell you, he's been all over the place. This guy is one of the most improved defensive linemen we've seen this year.
2nd down as they move back to about the 4. Rathman was the man in motion. Young is going to come out of there, or try to. Again, it was Gilbert that slowed him down and enabled the rest of them to get there. Boutte was the 2nd man.
I'll tell you, this Sean Gilbert, they better get a license for him. This guy's a player. Watch number 90. He's right here. And watch him on the clicker. He takes an inside move. McIntyre takes him inside. And right there, he feels the pressure, and he just torques him. See, he torques him with that right hand. Then he goes back. And for a 320-pound guy, that is an athletic move.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score, the 49ers 13, the Rams 7. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Anaheim Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 13-7, 49ers lead it. 3rd down. Stadium is sold out. Been a year since that happened, and it's excited. I don't know how long since that happened. Young in the end zone, incomplete.
Harris Barton and Kevin Green are arguing there, but I'll tell you one thing. Steve Young and Jerry Rice aren't on the same page, because if you watch number 80, he's open now, and Young isn't ready to throw. I think that what's happened, and I really believe this, that Jerry Rice is running Joe Montana time patterns, and Steve Young is throwing the ball, and it's completely different timing.
Wilmsmeyer back deep in the end zone. Vernon Turner for the Rams at the 45. Handle a low snap. Turner lets the ball bounce, and it does, and it'll roll dead at the 45. So that's where the Rams will take over.
Yeah, if you watch here, you're going to see where Rice is open if we just let it go. You see where Steve Young comes back, and if we just look right now, if we stop it right now, here's where Rice is open. You have to be ready to throw. Get the ball to him right here, right now. You see, he holds it, and he waits, and he waits, and he waits. Then by the time he comes off and throws it, it's behind him and everything. I think that Jerry Rice has been open most of the day, but he's open before Steve Young is looking or throwing or getting ready to throw to him.
1st and 10 Rams at the 49er 45. Bang to the 40. Gain 5. Tim Harris made the tackle.
The Rams have been very patient today. You know, they waited. They only have 1 touchdown. They waited until they got good field position off a turnover. Then they went in, boom, and they got their score. This is the 2nd time this game that they've started off with good field position.
You know, that's a word you don't think about, but you hear a lot as you talk to the coaches and the players around the league. When we ask, you ask, what do you have to do? We have to be patient.
I think the other thing that Chuck Knox has really taught Jim Everett is how to play the whole game. You know, when you have to make a play, but when you don't have to make a play.
Close to a 1st down. Kevin Fagan made the stop.
You know, there's always time. You know, there's a lot of quarterbacks that just play the game, and I think that Chuck Knox has given Jim Everett a lot of confidence. He's hired Ted Tollner, who's next to him there in the glasses, as a position coach, and he's taught him that, you know, that you don't have to make the play. And Jim Everett thought that the first thing that ever went wrong with the Rams, he'd have to go in there and make something happen. And he's taught that you don't. Just play your position. Just wait for things to happen, and things will come. Just worry about yourself. Don't worry about everything else.
Cleveland Gary is the deep back. Gary gets the carry, and he's close, but I'm not sure. It is a first down. You know, when you say play the game, John, that involves more than just lining up out there and play. It means being aware of how well your defense is playing, how well the special teams are doing.
Yeah, you know, whether you're at home or on the road, time on the clock. I mean, I've watched games now. It just seems like that there's a lot of teams that don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to manage the clock. Times that you have to take a risk, times that you don't have to take a risk. I think that's all encompassing in knowing how to play the game.
First down, Rams. Gary remains the setback. Everett gets it quickly to Jim Price to the 49er 30, and a flag down on the play. Might be a face mask.
Five-yard face mask, number 28. First down.
Number 28 is Dana Hall. He's the second guy in there, and he's going to come in and grab the fate right there. See, he didn't start out. He started off with his arm around him. Then as his hand came up, he just grabbed the face mask.
That's unintentional. That's why it's only 5 yards.
Yeah, but the thing that George Seifert has to be worried about Dana Hall is he really hasn't played as well as they expected a #1 draft choice to play. And the one touchdown the Rams have, they beat Dana Hall on that touchdown.
It's 1st and 10 at the 25. Fumble. And a scramble. And the indication is that the Rams come up with it. Did you see Jim Everett dive back in there after the ball?
Yeah, he flew in there. He's, you know, the guy that hands off, sometimes will be the first guy that sees it's a fumble. But as you watch Everett, they're having a little trouble with their ball handling today. We've seen him hand it. Now, that's a good handoff. And that was just dropped by David Lang. But watch Jim Everett. He not only dives in there, he almost got it. I don't know if the ball was there or if Lang got it. It was behind it, just a little to the left of that pile. I think the guy who fumbled it was the guy who got it.
2nd and 11. Gary replaces Lang. Here's Everett. Stepping up in the pocket. Incomplete. Darren Jordan knocked it down.
Darren Jordan's been a good pickup for this 49er team. He's playing for DeLong today. He's made a couple big plays, a couple blitzes, a couple tackles. Here, he's a good athlete. He gets back, gets his hand on the ball, knocks it down. He was picked up 2 years ago on Plan B from the Raiders, mostly as a special teams player, but he's also been a good linebacker.
3rd and 11, Chadwick and Ellard wide right. Everett works it out to Gary. Gary gets inside the 20 to about the 18, stopped by Merton Hanks. Not enough for a first down, a gain of 8. Field goal unit comes on.
Now that's the thing. He's been throwing more to his tight end and wide receivers today. In fact, I think that's the first pass that a running back has caught today. And if you look, that is, it's 1 for 1. He's thrown 15 times to his wide receivers, 6 to his tight ends, and only once. And I think that's because Cleveland Gary hasn't been playing that much today.
And really, probably because he can't run as well as he normally does.
On one wheel, got a flat tire.
Zendejas, 35 yards out, good. (13-10) in the 4th.
This game summary is sponsored by Keystone Light.
The 49ers lead it by 3. Ricky Waters has 135 total yards and the 1 touchdown for San Francisco. The Rams got their touch as a result of a turnover, a fumble. They got a field goal from Zendejas, and that's the way it stands. 13-10, and Zendejas kicks it off. Logan is taken down at the 23 by Sammy Lilly. Spectacular day in Southern California. John, you live out in this part of the country. It's unusually clear.
Yeah, but I live way up north. Yeah. That's where they get all our water down here. You see, if this is Southern California, I live way up here, like 400 mile up that way.
It's always clear up there.
Yeah, it's always clear up there. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the bus and go the other way. I'm going to Dallas after. I'm going to get my turkey, take it in the bus, and go to Dallas, start cooking.
I'll meet you there. At the 30 is Waters. He got 6. Pat Terrell made the stop.
I don't know that Todd Light has tackled Ricky Waters yesterday, but he was saying that he was looking forward to it. They said that, you know, when you're friends, they were roommates in college, and you always talk about, you know, what you're going to do when you play against each other. And he says he really thinks coming into a game that you want to hit a friend harder than you want to hit a guy you don't know. And he said he can't wait to hit Ricky Waters today, and I don't know that he has.
No, I don't either. But not many people have.
I think he's shooting an over.
Young's pass. Is it caught, or is it incomplete?
Well, that was Jerry Rice timing, and Steve Young had Joe Montana timing. Give him the ball right now. And it's a little later, and it's a little lower. Because remember, I used to get that thing right up there in the numbers and just hit it right on the run. Yeah, he catches that thing. He gets his hands underneath. I think you can throw a ball anywhere around number 80 and he's going to get it. That's like the old umpires with the Ted Williams. Anything, if he didn't swing at it, they said it was a ball. I think if you throw it to Rice and just say, yeah, it's a catch.
Reverse coming to Rice. Gets away from a couple of tacklers, fumble, and out of bounds. A pickup of 5 after all that.
Yeah, they're running him on reverses and motion and stuff. He said last week in doing this stuff, this motion, reverse, he said he got really tired at the end of the game, so he worked a lot more this week on his cardiovascular endurance. If he's going to do things like motion and reverses, and because you have to run. You look at that, you have to run 53 yards just to get across the field. Then if you go up 7-yard gain or a 10-yard gain, you've already run 63 yards.
Second and about 4. Here's Young to throw it. Wheels it out to Rathman. Rathman is knocked out of bounds. Just maybe a little bit short of the first down marker.
I think every football team has to have a Tom Rathman. Look at John Taylor. He didn't even know the snap count. He was in his stance. He stayed in his stance, and Rathman was halfway out there. That probably drove the coverage out. That probably helped that play. For some reason, John Taylor stood on the line of scrimmage. He didn't get off, and everything was coming to him, and he was still standing there.
Maybe that's why he's out.
I don't think he knew the snap count or heard the snap count.
Third down. Rathman gets the first. As you say, every team needs a Rathman.
You know, just for those kinds of things. You get in a short yardage, you need a guy to pick it up. Now watch, I mean, for a big guy, he has some little moves in there, too. He's not just a straight line guy. Look, he got a little moves. He looks like a halfback, a little nifty halfback in there. And then, whack, right at the end, he finishes it off and gets a first down.
You know, we were talking yesterday about why does nobody ever get dirty anymore? If there ever is going to be a guy that gets dirty, it's going to be Rathman.
Yeah, and, you know, and he's that type of guy because he does the tough things. He does the short yardage. He does the goal line. He does your block. Remember that blitz pickup he had? Remember that lead he had on a Waters run?
There's a Waters run to the left that doesn't get much. Mike Peel He got 2 yards.
Peel played that one pretty well. In fact, Rathman was trying to block him, and Peel didn't give him anything to block except his back. Peel was caught in some kind of spin, I think. But the Rams are really, in fact, I think both these teams have played well on defense today. These are two good offenses that can be rather explosive, and neither defense let either offense explode.
2nd and 8. Clock down to 6:45 left to play. The fake is to Waters, and the throw is by Young deep. And the man is open. It is Rice, and a 49er touchdown. The short throw. Rice came back and got it.
Sounds like there's a lot of 49er fans here today. Listen to him after this touchdown. This is what we were talking about earlier. You can do this to Jerry Rice all day. You don't worry about single coverage, double coverage, zone. I think you just throw the ball up. You just throw the ball up, and it gets anywhere in his area, he's going to catch it. He ran right by Henley, and then Newman was there, and he did a jump ball on Newman. There's no single guy, or maybe even 2 guys in this league that can really cover him if you get the ball to him.
Rice has 4 catches for 93 yards now, and that touchdown. Gopher's extra point is good. And the 49ers lead it 20-10 with 6:36 left.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, builder of fine automobiles since 1886. Payne Weber, we believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the special delivery company.
Kofer's kick is a good one. Chases Vernon Turner deep into the end zone, and they'll start from the 20.
Okay, here's Jerry Rice, and here's Darrell Henley. Now watch the move. He's going to come in, and then he puts a move. He runs right by Henley, and then Anthony Newman is going to get over there. Watch the move right there. Henley takes the bite. He runs right by both of them. Then the ball is thrown, and it's a little short, and Rice catches it. Now, if you look right here at the end, you see Anthony Newman is running with him. Now, he doesn't look back until Rice's hands goes up. When Rice's hands go up, then he looks. Of course, the ball is short. He looks, and the ball's behind him.
Here's Everett from the shotgun. Throws to Gary, incomplete. Well, that doesn't speak too well for the Rams, does it?
Well, if you're going to be an explosive team, this is when you have to explode. I mean, you have to explode. You have to get the quick touchdowns. You got to get the big plays. Because when you talk about big plays, that guy there is the guy who does them.
When you talk about explosions, he can put one on you. Everett back to throw. Has to scramble out of the pocket, back across the field. Almost intercepted by Bill Romanowski. Romo had it. Saw the green grass in front of it.
And the guy that was chasing Everett, see, Everett's not going to get caught with that ball back there. He's not going to get knocked down. He's not going to hold the ball. But again, the guy who's going to be chasing him, here comes Harris first, and then you're going to see 78. You see Pierce Hole is just about ready to unload him, and Everett says, you aren't going to get me with this thing, so he makes him throw the ball.
3rd and long. Incompletions, and they'll have to punt it.
Yeah, the 49ers have won that battle. They knew what they had to do. They had to come in, and they had to harass Everett. They not let him get into a rhythm, and they have done that.
He just hasn't been able to get set. They may not have sacked him that much, but they have pressured him.
I was talking to the 49er defensive coordinator, Bill McPherson, at halftime, and I said, you're getting a pretty good pass rush. And he said, not good enough. He said, we need more than we got in the first half.
Bracken to punt it. Fair catch. The 49ers will take over at about their own 38-yard line, leading by 10. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. Woody Allen says he didn't do it. Mia Farrow says he did do it. Woody tells his story to Steve Kroft tonight on 60 Minutes. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote. And then it's the CBS Sunday night movie, Nightmare in the Daylight. Story of a woman terrorized by a man who believes she is his missing wife. All tonight on CBS. Young to Rathman. 6 yards.
You know, you're talking about getting dirty, and he does get dirty, and he was starting to. And here's a sight that you don't know how that. This has to be part of the pregame or halftime show, where you got a dog just standing down there on the sideline, just staring at that ball. Just looked like he hurt. So he's staring at the ball. He wants someone to throw that ball or the cup. And the game's going on. There's 80. He doesn't care. He just wants someone to pick up that ball and throw it to me.
Let's give me some action here.
Please, throw me the ball.
Water. Cut down by Mike Peel. There we go.
Someone must have told him. That had to be a half dog or a pregame. Look, his tail wasn't even wagging or anything. He was just sitting there watching that ball. Doesn't take much to excite a retriever. Well, that'd be a great life. I wonder if there was a ball and a turkey leg. I wonder which one he'd go for.
I have an idea. There goes Waters in motion. Young fakes to Rathman. And Steve Young is going to run it. A 49er first down before he is tripped up by Darrell Henley.
You know, you have the feeling that Steve Young in the fourth quarter says, enough of this patient stuff, enough of this stuff staying under wraps. Let's just unwrap this thing. So the first thing he does is he hits a long run to Jerry Rice for the touchdown, and then he runs a bootleg just to loosen things up and open it up.
4:22 left. Joe Montana looks on. October the 4th, the first meeting this year between the Rams and 49ers. Look at Steve Young, number 8.
Hey, we've done a lot of games and we've seen a lot of runs, but this was one of his best. I think this one ranks right up there with the one against the Minnesota Vikings,
which they have never forgotten, nor should they.
You know, and the guy that would like to forget it is Steve Young.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to be thought of as a quarterback who's a runner. He wants to be thought about as a quarterback who passes the ball, and he always says, if good things are happening, the ball has to get out of my hand. He'd also like to pass the ball 40 times a game, but I think now that they have Ricky Waters, those 40 passes a game may be a thing of the past.
Back to the heyday of Roger Craig. Was the man in motion, and this is Waters. Waters slashes down inside the 35, stopped by Pat Terrell.
Well, there's another Notre Dame guy, Pat Terrell. Waters, Notre Dame. Terrell, Notre Dame. Todd Light, Notre Dame. Light hasn't gotten him yet, but I think Terrell did.
Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The NFL Today was directed by Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Chuck Knox They were just talking yesterday, the Ram administrators and players, talking about what a player's coach this guy is. If you've got a problem and you need it solved, it may not be solved the way you'd like it to be solved, but you can approach Chuck Knox.
Yeah, he's always been a player's coach. He's always been a solid, fundamental coach, and he's always won. Here with the Rams, at Buffalo, at Seattle, and then back here again.
Everywhere he's been.
I think there ought to be a rule that you can't cross your legs on a bench if you're a defensive player in the NFL. That's an oxymoron.
I think it's a good idea, but I don't think you're going to get it passed. Waters again for 3. Stopped by Kell.
I think Joe Montana, before this year is over, you know, there's been people say that maybe his career's done, he'll never play again. And again, just watching him throw yesterday, knowing who he is and what he is. I know Steve Young is the starter. Steve Young is going to be the starter. But Joe Montana, when he gets done yawning here, in the next week or so, I think he's going to be active again and be on this team. And Joe Montana, again, will play in this league.
Right now, I think he's cold. There's Dwight Clark. And the guy behind him was equally a great 49er receiver. That's Billy Wilson. What a player he was.
Oh, they look like they're posing for something. They look like they're being inducted into somewhere.
They're looking at the blimp. And there's another great 49er receiver alongside. Gene Washington.
Yeah, last week in Kansas City, we had great barbecue stuff. On Thursday, we're going to have great Thanksgiving stuff, and this is what we get here in Los Angeles. You get, they go meatballs, and here's some good stuff. This isn't a bad deal for the Rams.
Peppers and onions.
Yeah, what we haven't seen here is any quiche.
No, that's good. Peppers and onions, and this is a good old load they're giving them. That's not bad. Who would want to go in and watch the game? You got that? You got the pickup? That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, they're not up. I mean, Kansas City, I think, is the best we've seen.
Oh, yeah. Best organized.
Yeah. But this one isn't bad. I mean, they're in kind of in the middle of the pack here in Anaheim. In fact, if they still have some coals after the game, I may put my turkey on that and just started getting it what we call braised.
But you'll have to leave it here. You can't leave.
No. I'll just take it before I leave. I'll just get it braised a little before I leave.
This is Rathman. 5-yard gain. And another 49er first down. Pat Terrell made the stop again.
Yeah, I think you see how they do that. Those fullbacks, they're like linemen. They come, they give, you know, some hand slaps, some headbutts. That's the way they congratulate each other. Again, there's a football player.
Well, the Madden Cruiser is parked outside, poised and ready to head for Dallas. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, I know. We're pointed in the right direction. We're just going to go right out there and start down, I think, Highway 10. And we go through, let's see, where do we go? Like through Needles, and then into Arizona, and then New Mexico, and then Texas, and we do the game there. Then we come back Sunday and do the Philadelphia Eagles at the 49ers.
You'll have a lot of miles in Texas. Could I have maybe just a little sliver of turkey to take with me on the airplane?
Well, not this one. Raw turkey?
I don't care.
Nah, you don't want any of that. Yeah, if you just go up that freeway, you'd find out that the Raiders are playing the Broncos today. I think the Raiders are beating the Broncos. Yeah. I think the Raiders have beaten the Broncos.
That's a final. They shut them out, 24-0. Of course, John Elway did not play, not to minimize the victory in any way.
Well, they beat Seattle last week and got Denver this week.
Rams are out of timeouts. Waters cuts it upfield again. Waters still to speed. Waters to about the 16, a gain of 9, stopped by Bailey and Robertson.
Yeah, I think George Seifert thought when he first got Ricky Waters that he was a little too active, a little too hyper, but you know, that kind of running has really helped him. I mean, he never stops. He's always moving. he's always moving and hitting and spinning and doing all that stuff. And maybe Ricky Waters has the right approach to it.
Let it be fun. Less than 3 minutes to play. The scoreboard clock has a little bit more time than we do. 2nd and 1. Rice in motion. Corners again. Slashes for a first down. Robinson made the stop after a gain of 4.
You know, the 49ers came down here yesterday in this field, and they just came out in the field, and George Seifert had a walkthrough. They didn't have to dress up, just went out in street clothes. And George Seifert, like all coaches, is a little, you know, has a little superstition in him. And so the players were saying yesterday, I hope we win, because if we win, then we're not going to have to dress for any more Saturday practices.
2 minutes to go. And the 49ers lead the Rams by 10. Coming up Thursday, a holiday tradition here on CBS, football in Dallas, and the annual awarding of the Turkey Leg Award to the game's most valuable player. Last year we were in Detroit, and Eric Kramer showed us his magic while nose tackle Jerry Ball stopped the Bears cold. Kramer got the turkey leg. We gave the rest of the bird to Ball. Thursday, the Cowboys and the Giants here on CBS, and we'll see who wins the award this year. Rumor has it that we have one turkey that has 6 drumsticks.
Well, because you never know who's going to win. It may be one guy, 2 guys, a whole offensive line, a defense, coaching staff. You don't know.
This will be the 4th year of this Turkey Leg Award. Some of the past winners.
That's not a bad group either.
No.
Reggie White in '89, Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith, and then Eric Kramer and Jerry Ball last year. You look at Emmitt Smith, and you have to say that, you know, he's maybe the best running back in football right now. But I'll tell you, this Ricky Waters, I know it's only his first year, but you just watch both of them, and this guy's not far behind.
He really isn't.
I mean, he's in that class. I know it's too early, but he's in that class.
That was done mostly on his own. He can dance and he can sing too.
See, old Steve Wallace was in there. He was just giving that forearm to the head. They got dances, they got everything, but at least it's fun again. If you're a 49er. But I mean, he just has so many moves. Again, a good block on Kevin Green by Tom Rathman. But I don't know that Ricky Waters needs a lot of blocks now, because this 49er offense has worn the Ram defense down.
Hofer for the extra point. Bono holding. Extra point is good.
You know, I wonder if any thought goes into that, or if that's just impromptu. Look at this guy in the front row there. We just started right there. This guy right here, he looks bored to death with the whole thing. That guy has to be a Ram fan. He didn't take his fingers out of his nose the whole dance.
Looking away.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, oh, you shouldn't do that here.
Well, he's wearing a wedding band too.
Well, yeah, but that's okay. But I mean, you can. I mean, even though it's not your team, you can say, well, let him celebrate a little. That is the longest celebration that I have ever seen for a regular season game in the last 2 minutes. In fact, if he would just do it like 10 more seconds, that would break an NFL record. I think he wore himself out.
Uh-oh.
you know, if you look at that, those guys painted Ram helmets on their faces and heads. And you know, the Rams were the first ones to ever have a logo or an insignia on their helmets.
The first in pro football. And there it is. They had a Ram practice yesterday.
Well, they had a running back by the name of Fred Gerke.
You're right.
And he decided he wanted to paint it blue and then put this thing on it, the Ram thing on it. So he took like 33 helmets home and he did them all himself. Because before that, remember what they looked like? Here's what they looked like. They were just big old brown helmets like this, and then he decided to put the Ram thing on them. But that's what they looked like before.
That's what the helmets look like.
Yeah, and the guy in it, I mean, the guys looked a little better than that. And that's what they look like now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when Fred Gerke decided to paint the helmet, paint that Ram on it, he didn't have this in mind.
He didn't know what he was starting, did he?
He didn't think some guy with sunglasses would be wearing one upside of his head.
Or he didn't have that in mind. Presented by authority of the National Football League. And this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams, and CBS is prohibited.
I think Ricky Waters' gas tank is on empty now. He not only playing how many yards he gained and everything he did, but if he had anything left, it was in that, you know, that end there just before it hit E, and he took it all up in that celebration.
Average pass is complete to Chadwick. At least putting some fuel back in.
Well, you have to. You get dehydrated doing that. Rams are going no huddle here.
It. Price got it back. And that'll do it. Good day for Rathman, good day for Young, and good day for the 49ers. 27-10 over the Rams.